I know how scary and overwhelming it can be when you first find out that you're testing positive for high risk HPV virus and potentially abnormal cells. I'm Dr. Donnie Wilson, and I've been helping thousands of women for over 24 years to address high risk HPV virus, get it to negative, and protect themselves from cancer caused by high risk HPV. And so I understand it because I've also dealt with HPV myself. So, from personal experience and from helping thousands of women to navigate this exact situation, I want to be able to help you as well. And again, I know when you first find out, when you first hear from the doctor's office, when you first get that pap smear result back and it's not, and it says abnormal, sometimes in red letters, and you're like, wait a minute, it can feel like your whole world stops. And yet at the same time, you still have all of your daily responsibilities and expectations. You have your work, your family, your your goals. Maybe you have a goal for getting pregnant and having a family yourself. Maybe you have other goals in your life for just the next things that are coming in your life for travel or for projects and businesses and so on. And yet here comes this information that now this HPV virus is causing potentially abnormal cells or pre-cancer or even cancer cells. And very often it's on the cervix, but it could also be vaginally, vulvar, anal, or even in the oral respiratory area. And so, if you're listening to this video, I know you're probably searching, looking for answers. What can I do? How am I going to take care of this while taking care of everything else in my life? And I know how overwhelming it can be, and to think, oh my gosh, is this? We can have those worst case scenario thoughts of what if this virus causes cancer, and what is it that I can do about it? And yet, at the same time, as women, we're often the one who is taking care of everyone else, taking care of our family members, our parents, our pets, our children. And so we often don't have enough time and resources to take care of ourselves. And it can be difficult, especially when we're talking about something that we're not sure how to talk to people in our life, our loved ones about. How do we talk about and explain that we're testing positive for HPV and what that means? And so it can be a situation where you're feeling isolated, overwhelmed, and like, what do I do next? And so this, I want you to know that this is what I help women to navigate, is that exact situation, because I feel strongly that there is a path. I know that I've guided many women down the path successfully, and they've then said to me, please, Dr. Donnie, show other women that this is possible as well. And what I can tell you is that all of those women that I've helped to go down this path to achieving negative HPV and negative pap smear results is they say to me, oh my gosh, if I could do it, you can do it. Anyone can do this. So I want to right away give you hope that you also can navigate this path. There are ways to help protect yourself from high risk HPV, even if you've been testing positive for many years, even if it's the first time, even if there's more than one strain, no matter which strain of HPV, no matter how old you are. All of those scenarios I have seen and helped address and helped women to successfully eliminate the virus. That's the thing, is the human body can clear the HPV virus. Your body knows how to deal with the HPV virus and get it to negative and keep it negative. It's simply a matter of me guiding you to understand what your body needs in order to do that. And if it's testing positive and if abnormal cells are present, it means your body needs more help. That's all. Your body needs more help. And yet, at the same time, again, it can be hard for us to prioritize ourselves and figure out, how am I going to insert this into my day, into my schedule? And then we start to second guess ourselves. Am I going to be able to do this? Do I have to do it perfectly? What if I don't do it perfectly? Right? You might be thinking some of these thoughts. And so I want to reassure you, no, you do not have to do it perfectly. You do not have to, it should not have to take all day, every day. This is something that can be done in your busy life. You can still be, the women I work with are still, they have jobs or they are running businesses, they have families, they have parents, they have other responsibilities, and they're learning how to also take better care of themselves, to give their bodies what they need in order to heal. And absolutely, it's possible. It does not require perfection. What it requires is simply each day taking steps in that direction. Step by step, little by little, we end up creating a cumulative change. We start creating big change over time by adding up all the small changes. So, what are some examples of small changes that maybe, and I invite you to just, as I talk this through, think to yourself, what might that look like for yourself? And one of my favorite ways to talk about care and taking better care of yourself is with the acronym CARE. So I start with the letter C, which is for clean eating. How can we, how can you start to choose foods that are, in terms of clean eating, just healthier for you, right? How can you put the emphasis on the positive instead of thinking about what you're taking away from your diet or what you're restricting from your diet, or feeling like you have a something you're taking away from yourself. If you can put the focus on the positive and say, how can I focus on feeding myself healthy foods? How can I focus on making sure that everything I put into my body is going to help myself, right? So then automatically we go, okay, let's decrease the sugar, because we know sugar, like I'm talking about cane sugar, spoonfuls of sugar, sugar that's in processed foods. Sugar decreases our immune function, which makes us more susceptible to infections. So if we say, let's figure out where the sugar is coming in, decrease the sugar intake, increase the colorful fruits and vegetables and healthy proteins and healthy fats in your diet. And it might mean just thinking through your day and saying, okay, what am I having for breakfast? What am I having for lunch? What am I having for dinner? How can I, in my day, make sure that I have food available that's going to be feeding my body, not just eating quickly to get through the motions, but actually eating to give you healthy protein, fat, and carbohydrates, as well as healthy nutrients and antioxidants, right? So I like to start with a protein shake. That's one of my, and it's the quickest, simplest, easiest way to get nutrients and protein. Now, you don't want to just get any protein shake. I recommend getting a protein shake where it doesn't contain sugar, also doesn't contain inflammatory proteins. Like I would recommend avoiding whey protein, and many of my patients need to avoid egg. We usually do a food sensitivity test to confirm that, but we're going to want to choose a protein shake that's not dairy or whey based and doesn't have sugars in it. So that's why I, in particular, do all the research to find a protein shake that tastes good and has the right ingredients in it. And I'll put a link down below this episode to my favorite protein shakes that you can get through my website, and that I recommend that my patients take. One is a pea protein shake. So it's pea protein based, and it has the right nutrients in it. That's the thing, is when we take nutrients or vitamins or supplements, we need to make sure that they're in the active form that our body can use. And many protein shakes do not have the active forms in there. So you're taking what, or even a multivitamin doesn't have the active form. So you could be taking vitamins and it's not even getting into your cells and your body can't even use it. So I would hate for you to be doing that. Let's get a really good quality pea protein, or the other option is a bone broth protein. It doesn't taste like bone broth. It's just that has the ingredients of bone broth for the source of protein. So instead of being dairy based, it's bone broth based, and it comes in like a chocolate flavor. So you can get pea protein in chocolate or vanilla, and you can get bone broth in chocolate flavor. And we offer both of those on my website. So I'll put a link for you, because this to me is one of the easiest things you can do, is say, let me make sure I'm getting protein first thing in the morning, and that it has also no sugar, but with active nutrients in it. It's like you have a multivitamin in the protein shake. And I literally would just say, wake up in the morning and tell everybody in your life, hey, I can't do anything else until I have my protein shake. And you can make it with water. I mean, yes, you can use other liquids if you'd like, but it works. And what I do is I make my protein shake with filtered water. So it's water, the protein powder, and you blend it or stir it, and now you're good to go. So you already can check off your box for the morning of taking good care of yourself with clean eating. And then you can continue with the day. Okay, where are you going to be for lunch? Look for either restaurants that offer clean eating solutions for you, or bring food with you so that you always have food available that has this protein and healthy ingredients. Same thing with dinner. You can either make dinner or find a place that has clean eating options, or make food so that you have leftovers to eat during the week. So these are some starting tips, dietary tips for you in terms of how to get yourself on the right track with eating. It's all about eating in a way that feeds your body, that gives your body the nutrients it needs at the intervals it needs it. Instead of, if we go too long without eating, we end up causing more stress on our system, and then we end up eating too much or craving sugar, and it works against us, right? We have to pay attention to, like, let's not like starve ourselves and then overeat. Let's plan ahead and feed ourselves through the day. For A of care is for adequate sleep. So making sure that you, again, make plans to do your best to get a bedtime routine where you can get into bed earlier so that you're more likely to get at least 7.5 hours of sleep. So that means to be able to help prioritize and say what can't happen today because I need to be able to go to sleep. So making sure you do your bedtime routine, and if you have kids to take care of, help them get their bedtime routine done, and create a calm environment for yourself. Turn down the lights. Maybe you're going to do some reading or do meditation or calm music. So you're telling your nervous system it's time to go to sleep. So then you can get better sleep. And because it's when we're sleeping that our immune system is helping to protect us from viruses and other infections. So we need good sleep. Okay. So R of care is for recovery activities. And there's so many different recovery activities. These are things that we sometimes tend to dismiss or put as, oh, maybe I'm going to do that on the weekend. And then we procrastinate and we don't do it. I encourage you to build it into your schedule, even in 5-minute intervals during the day, even throughout the day. Like when you wake up, you can do some deep breathing or meditation, or take your dog for a walk outside, spend some time in nature, get into the sunlight to get the right signaling for your circadian rhythm. Then have your protein shake. Then maybe you're going to do a little bit of a core workout, which is the E in care, is for exercise and movement, right? Even if you can start with 5 minutes of core strengthening or taking a walk outside, this is considered exercise and movement, which is really important for our bodies. It helps us to process stress, release stress, reset from stress, get the anti-stress signals going. The recovery activities also includes things like, again, listening to music, journaling, even just having quiet time, let alone calling a friend, dancing, playing an instrument, and talking to a therapist. There's so many things you can do that are going to be recovery activities, meaning they help you recover from your day. So you might do some in the morning, some in the middle of the day when you have a break. Make sure you take a break. And then in the evening before bed. This way you're sprinkling in the stress recovery each and every day, especially when you're under more stress. And especially if you start to notice your mind racing, that's when you want to stop your mind and say, okay, instead of letting my mind race into a million directions, I'm going to take this opportunity to do some stress recovery and really teach your nervous system that you're the one who's deciding, hey, I'm going to start calming my nervous system so then I can go more into a problem solving mode. I know how scary it can be when you get a pap smear result that shows positive for HPV and potentially abnormal cells. It's hard to know who to trust and where to get information to help you solve it. That's exactly why I decided to do something about it. I'm Dr. Donnie, and after helping thousands of women over the past 2 decades to clear HPV to negative and keep it negative, I decided to create the HPV Kickstart program. This step by step online program is designed to teach you the essential knowledge you need for your body to heal itself. You'll get access to a comprehensive series of videos that will help guide you through the diet changes you can make, the supplements to take, as well as ways to address the underlying causes of the virus. You can clear the HPV virus. Just go to drdonnie.com/kickstart or use the link below to get started. I'll see you there. So this is just some beginning steps. I'm hoping this gives you some ideas of how you can start taking better care of yourself little by little each day. And you might go, hey, I'm eating clean and I'm exercising, but maybe there's other aspects of this care that you can fine tune. And it's all about continuing to fine tune it each and every day, because sometimes we think we're taking good care of ourselves when actually maybe there's aspects of it where we're maybe even overdoing it. Many times patients will say to me, hey, I thought I was taking care of myself, but I was actually exercising too long or fasting too long. And I wasn't really taking as care of myself the way my body needed me to. So that's one area where you can begin, is just to start being like, how can I, just asking yourself this and journaling about it even. What can I do to take a little bit better care of myself? And what is my body trying to tell me that it needs? And then from there, you can decide if you need more information, right? Have you had blood work lately? And have you had blood work that was a list of blood work from a naturopathic doctor like me? Because most practitioners just do the simple CBC and metabolic panel when really we need more information. So then you might be like, hey, you know what? I really do need some new blood work from a naturopathic doctor that can check into other nutrient levels and hormone levels and really make sure that my body has everything it needs, right? We need to get information from your body about what it needs. And then there's other tests that just don't even come from the regular lab and the standard doctor's office that you're going to have to pay out of pocket for, but can give us really great information. Like, how's your stress hormone levels, your cortisol throughout the day? How's your adrenaline level and your neurotransmitter levels, let alone your estrogen and estrogen detoxification levels and your microbiome. These are things we can measure and test for, and there are labs, really high quality labs that exist. It's just that you're going to need to work with a practitioner like me to help get you access to those tests and help you to interpret the results and know what you can do about it. Because the reason to do these tests is because there are solutions. There are things we can do to address nutrient deficiencies, to even address toxicities, and to support detoxification of estrogen, for example, rebalancing of the microbiome, rebalancing of cortisol and neurotransmitters. This can all be done with natural substances like nutrients, herbs, probiotics, along those lines. It's just that I don't recommend just searching online generally guesswork, because it's likely not going to work very well that way. Because if you think about it, I mean, I was in training for over a decade, and then I've been in practice for over 24 years to do this. So it's a lot of information to sift through, and it's to be most efficient. It helps a lot to have someone who knows how to structure a strategic plan, how to gather the right information and then put it into a strategic plan for you so that you can be most effective at addressing whatever it is that needs to be addressed. That's the thing. If HPV is showing up positive, there's something that needs attention. There is, because otherwise your body would have taken care of it and sent it to negative and no abnormal cells would be present. So if HPV is showing up, there's something there that needs attention. We just have to be detectives and start looking for what it is. And again, you can start with just fine tuning your self care, right? I encourage you to just start there. And if you would like more help, then you can always reach out to me. I actually created a essentials program that's called the Kickstart program that gives you the next steps on this path. You know, it's not about doing everything on day one and doing it perfectly, because then that just sets us up for failure and being hard on ourselves and falling off the wagon and then feeling like, oh, what's the point anyway, right? We don't want that. It's much more effective to say, hey, I'm going to set myself up for success. I'm going to put myself on the path of a well proven strategy and a pathway that's been shown by many, many women that it works. So you don't have to figure it out on your own. You can actually be watching videos from me and letting me guide you every step of the way. I can guide you through how to not only to fine tune your care even more than what we just described here, but also to figure out your supplements to know, okay, exactly which multivitamin, exactly how much and what type of folate to take, how much of other nutrients to take and herbs that you may have heard about. But how do you know which ones, what dose, which brand? I can teach you all of that. Now, I did create an HPV supplement bundle, and I can put a link down below to that HPV supplement bundle, which has the top supplements that I find are helping the most women. And you can purchase these through my website. I make it available, even though you cannot find these supplements available through any other website online, because these are supplements that you have to get from a practitioner with clinical training and certifications like me. So I can make them available to you through my website. And that's what we've done with the HPV supplement bundle. So you can get, purchase that through the website. However, I want you to know that to get the right dosing, I need to teach you through these video series. So what I recommend is to get the supplement bundle and then get the Kickstart essential video series so that I can guide you how to take those supplements, which doses, how to navigate and help individualize it to you, and then how to start down the path of making dietary changes that are going to be helping you to fend off HPV, how to fine tune your self care, how to start implementing mind body techniques like meditation, biofeedback, and so on, and how to start thinking about restoring your microbiome, your gut and vaginal microbiome, how to start restoring your healthy cortisol and adrenaline or stress hormone levels, how to go down this path so that you're helping your body to fully recover from what you've experienced in life at the same time as helping to protect your body from HPV and abnormal cells. So that's exactly what the Kickstart Essential Programs is about. Is it guides you through a video series online to again not to be perfect, not to set yourself up for failure, but to set yourself up for success, to say, here's the essential steps that I find that when women take these steps, they a lot of times that's all they need to get all the way to that negative pap smear. And at the very least, it gets you started down the path in a gentle and effective way. So then from there, you can decide, do I want to do more? Right? Do you then want to work with me one on one? Do you want to do the more comprehensive Say Goodbye to HPV program over 3 months? Do you want to do more? Then you can choose that after starting off with the Kickstart program. So if you're wondering and you're feeling overwhelmed and you're like, where do I begin? How am I going to do this? And you're searching online and you're getting all kinds of random information, but you feel like, what am I missing? I still feel like I'm missing something. Well, then that's exactly where this Kickstart program is going to help you to know that you're not missing something, that I'm right here with you. I'm going to be, side by side with you on this path to say, here's exactly the way to think about this. Here's exactly the next steps to consider. And this way, you don't have to be in a state of fear and overwhelm because we're going to do this together. And I've already helped so many women and we've already figured it out. There's no need for you to recreate the wheel because it's right here. And I know how it can feel like you're so alone and the doctor's office is not helping you, especially if your doctor's office is saying, well, just wait and see. Come back in 3 to 6 months and see if it gets worse or see what happens. And you're like, wait a minute, I don't feel comfortable with that. Or maybe the doctor's office is saying, hey, you need a procedure, or you need a surgery. And you're like, wait a minute, I don't want to have a surgery or procedure on my body. I want to be able to protect myself from this virus. So if that sounds like you, then this is the perfect place to be where you say, okay, I'm going to take this into my own hands. and at the same time I need some expert guidance, then I'm here to be that expert guidance for you and to sit down with you and say, okay, how do we let's figure this out. Let's make sure you have what you need. And you can start by getting the protein shake I recommend, the HPV bundle. And then the next step I would do is I would get the Kickstart video series so you know how to start implementing. And from there, you can decide, okay, do I want more? What's my next step on the journey? Just like anything we do in life, it's not like we're going to get it all done in one day. We have to and a lot of times it feels like it's too big it feels like a mountain in front of us. And we're like, how am I going to climb this mountain? It feels impossible, right? And so what we have to do is we just have to take it step by step. We say, okay, I'm going to do this step first. And then tomorrow I'm going to take the next step. And the next day I'm going to take the next step. And we don't know. A lot of times we don't know how we're going to get over that mountain. But if we have someone there with us to say, okay, you take this path, you do this first, you do this next, you don't have to be so overwhelmed with climbing a mountain because we know that someone's going to be there to guide us each step of the way. And we don't have to have it all planned out. We can just follow the steps little by little. We're going to get there. And I can tell you over and over, case after case, every day, I love hearing from women who report back to me how when they follow this, when they go along with me on this journey, they do get to HPV free. Their next exam is HPV negative and no abnormal cells. And they've been told that that was not possible. And yet that's what's in front of them because they chose to stand up for themselves and say, is enough is enough. I deserve help to protect myself from high-risk HPV virus. And I believe you deserve help. And I see that it's not available in the standard care. That's why I create that here. That's why I have created that opportunity for you to choose this for yourself. And that's what we do here in my office. So if I can help you at all, you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. In fact, I'll put a link down below where you can schedule a free call with my team to talk about your case. What's happening for you? Where are you in this process? What are you trying to decide about? And then we can help you to know where's your next best step. And I'll also put a link to the Kickstart program in case you're like, yeah, that sounds like it's a good place to start, because then at least you can see how I start teaching you what that path starts to look like. And then you can always decide from there what you want to do next. Okay. So there's no wrong step you can take other than no step at all, because that's the thing is if we don't do anything different, we're not going to create any kind of change. But as soon as we start making even differences, even a little bit of change, I can't tell you how many women within a couple weeks of starting, they report all kinds of improved mood, energy, focus, hopefulness, even bloating goes away, their skin improves, they're losing weight that they've been trying to lose. And they're like, wow, I had no idea I could feel so much better so quickly by simply making small changes. And so please know that if we don't make any changes, then we can't expect any difference, right? But if we start to make changes and we have encouragement to keep going, then we can expect a difference. We can expect a change. We can expect that HPV virus is going to get the message and leave, because it's not welcome anymore. It's not going to be able to survive when you're a healthier you. And so that's what I'm striving to help you to do, is to take better care of you, to be your best health advocate. And the better you're taking care of you, the healthier you are, the more you've recovered from the stresses of your life, the more you're going to be able to protect yourself from high-risk HPV virus. So thanks so much for joining me here today. Please make sure to comment if you have questions or any thoughts, and also to subscribe and put on your notifications so you don't miss my next video. I look forward to connecting with all of you very soon.
Thanks for listening to How Humans Heal. If you liked this episode, leave a rating and a review. And for more resources, visit drdonnie.com.